No, in short, not surprised by it. I think there's been a lot of variables over the last few years. And if we think back, my mind goes all the way back to COVID. We obviously had the COVID pandemic, which changed a lot of scenarios for people. Namely, if we look at work only, we have a lot of businesses that closed down, a lot of people unable to return to work for one reason or another. And those now actually become today's self-employed individuals or those on variable incomes because they lost, shall we say, mid to high paying jobs and have had to get other jobs to make up for that missed income. So that is the initial thing that comes to mind, and the impact that would have on credit. We created an environment due to the consistently low rates that we had for a period of time where borrowing was cheap. So everyone did it. You know, you look in any car park, everyone's got a car that's 2 or 3 years old. iPhone and Samsung are releasing phones twice a year now, and everyone's always on to the next thing. And that creates an environment where people started out with an employment. You've maybe got 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 direct debits. All of a sudden, you've got 6, 7 payments to keep up with monthly, as well as your 3 times a year holidays abroad. All of that adds up. And I think you put that into a cocktail, it's going to end up being adverse credit with 1 or 2 missed payments. Having been a mortgage broker previously, one of the things I looked at for self-employed individuals and those with variable incomes, they're moving target. So for a lender or lenders to have set parameters, have set criteria for someone that is going to be self-employed, it's going to need to change every single time because no 2 scenarios are the same. If we look at the thought behind how many more self-employed individuals there are today in the country than we did have a few years ago, there's an increase over there. So it's definitely an opportunity, but I think they do struggle simply because no 2 are the same. Lenders have to adapt a lot to make them work. And that in itself causes a challenge for them, making sure they've got the right products out. If I think of the cases I managed to get settled with underwriters that were for self-employed or those with variable incomes, there was a lot of time spent with underwriters, a lot of questions and a lot of extra work to get those across the line. I think that in itself is probably the biggest challenge they face.